back to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. Today's show is sponsored by Claire Jefford, the founder of Interior Design Boss Academy. As you know, Claire is one of my actual, in real life friends, and she is one of the co-authors in our first volume of the Power Talk Friday Experts. She's been on the show several times, each one great information, and I will put the links in the show notes. Maybe you do or you don't know a little bit about Claire. Claire began her award-winning interior decorating firm in 2011. Quickly, she grew her business, and quickly she was able to boast that she was the highest reviewed design professional in the Toronto area with over 100 reviews. Then in 2017, Claire went into business coaching, right? And that has been all the difference to many, many, many of us in the industry. She also runs a highly active Facebook group, Interior Design Business Strategies, which I have mentioned on the show many times, with over 5,500 interior design professionals from around the world participating in the group. Claire and I, as I said, have spoken many times, both on the podcast and off air, about what it takes to run a well-designed business. And today she's here to highlight her new program, Interior Design Boss Academy, created to help you lay the foundation for a thriving business, from setting yourself up for success before the intake to launching an actual project. Claire believes that success in business comes down to two key components: trust and the customer experience. Let's hear what she has to say about both of these and how her program helps you cultivate and achieve these. Hi, Claire. Thanks so much for joining me again on A Well-Designed Business today.
Hi, LuAnn. How are you?
I'm already smiling and laughing. That's how I am, Claire.
I know. I just love your energy.
Oh, my goodness.
I just love you. We work so well together.
I know. I mean, and we've just spent an hour and 15 minutes before we even hit record. Come on. Who's got all day for this, Claire?
There's not even any wine involved yet. How crazy is that?
I know. Oh, my goodness. But the thing is, I mean, this is what I love about you. Like, I'm talking with you for the last hour and 15 minutes and just learning. I'm always learning from you, Claire. You just have such a great perspective and point of view with approach to how you've built your interior design business, and now how you just teach so many other interior designers how to do it. And I think that from the beginning, I think there's two things that have been the reasons why we have always been like two peas in a pod since that first day I saw you through the glass in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. That's right. The wind. Yep.
That's it. I think I never said this to you, but I think this is what it is. Number one, we both can get really silly, stupid. And the other thing is that we're both can be just like direct between the eyes. Like, I'm sorry, just do it that way. What part of this is not clear? Right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, but in a good way.
Exactly. So here's the thing. You've been the co-author in my book, and you've been on the show a couple of times, and we'll put the links in the show notes for all of the things. But you are evolving again in your business. As I said, you have done so much already, and I talk about your Facebook group like it's insanity on my podcast because it is such a good group, and there's so many lessons and so many things in there that are valuable. But you've evolved again, and now you are introducing the Interior Design Boss Academy, and I'm so excited. It's got so many good things in it, and we're going to talk about what it is and how you access it and what is inside of it. But before that, I thought we should talk about some of this, some of the philosophies and some of the pillars or the values that you do every day in your design business that give you this authority, this experience to be able to teach other interior designers. And two of the key things that you often talk about, and I hear from you, is trust and experience. So get me started, Claire. What do you want to tell us
Yeah.
about these two pillars?
Yeah. Well, thanks again, LuAnn, for having me on the show. I'm very thrilled to be here with you today. So I appreciate your time. And yeah, so in terms of, obviously I've been running my business now for just over 11 years. I've been coaching for 6 years and having the Facebook group for about 6 years as well, with now over 6,000 people in there. I'm learning every day, just like everybody, and I'm still in the trenches with your listeners. I'm still there. We're still booking clients. We're still doing photo shoots, installs, and all of that great stuff. But I have noticed that over time in coaching and hearing stories in the groups that really when things go pear-shaped with a client, that's an English term. I don't know if you guys know, but when things go downhill,
Mm.
when things go sideways, it's a lot of it comes down to the fact that you haven't really built the relationship based on trust with your client. And this could extend to your trades, of course, and your vendors, but for right now, we'll just, focus on the client relationship. And, if your client doesn't trust you, if they don't really believe in the value that you provide, that is when we hear about pushback. That's when we hear about people ridiculously asking to see the designer's invoices for what they paid for products, or not wanting to pay their fee. They're trying to negotiate with them. And so to build trust, there's many layers to building that trust that starts even before the first phone call, when someone reaches out to you, but then continues through, obviously, with your process on how you work with the phone call. How do you get back to someone? What do you send them as a follow-up afterwards? All of these touch points that we do a lot in my business, and doesn't take a lot of time, LuAnn. Like, it doesn't, once you set it up, and it's a process that you have, and it's step by step, and whether it's my office manager who's doing it, or my design assistant, or myself, we're literally just plugging in names, changing the date, and maybe personalizing it a little bit for that specific client. But once I show up to a consultation, for example, the client, we've had probably 10 touch points at that point.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people overlook how much that builds a trust. So it's definitely one thing that we talk about, and I share a lot about that in the Boss Academy, about having that trust. Because my clients, I was telling you, just before we got on here, that I'm working with clients that I worked with 7 years ago. We did their basement 7 years ago. Now they hired us to do their main floor, kitchen redesign, living room, all that. And the wife said to me, Claire, like, whatever you tell us to do, like, we really don't have much of a clue in terms of design style. We like what we see on your website. We trust you to choose and steer us correctly, and we're going to use your guys, even though last time there was a different contractor that I was working with. But they're like, no, if this is your new guy, we're going to work with him. And I mean,
Mm.
it's just so nice to have that trust. And that's not necessarily because yes, of course, working with them before and getting repeat clients is the best, but just to hear that, and just to know that that just gets you off on smooth footing. And so a lot of times when we're hearing these things that happen in the group, and people who they have a client and they're asking them for X, Y, and like just ridiculous requests that I would never
Don't get
ask
me started.
of someone who right, I would never ask of someone who I'm working with in a client working relationship, who I've hired, who I trust, and who I value. I'm not going to ask for these things. I know this person's going to do good for me, and I know they're going to do a good job, and I trust them to do what they do. I'm not micromanaging these people.
You just said something really cool in there, because I sometimes, what I find, this is what I love about doing this show, by the way, is that even after 40 years in business, someone will say something to me and I'll be like, oh, it's like I kind of knew that to be true, but I didn't put the words to it. That is the number one
Mm,
experience that I've had with this podcast, that um, and it's fun. And you just did it for me right there. And what you said was, because I've said to myself, I would never ask somebody that. Like, why is somebody asking you this? This is ridiculous, blah, 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 blah. But what you just said, the nuance there, Claire, is when you trust someone, you don't ask those silly, absurd, obnoxious questions. And so the nuance of what you just said is, picture when you trust someone. See, that right there was bang, right? All of a sudden, I'm like,
Yeah.
right, when I really trust someone, like when I'm thinking about Nicole of Glory and Brand, like
Yeah.
she is my
Yeah.
creative director. You know, she is working on all three of my businesses, LuAnn, Nigara Inc. and, Exciting Windows and Window Works. And I can't tell you the number of times that she'll be like, do you want to do this or this? And I just stare at her. She's like, you want me to decide? I'm like, uh-huh. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's right.
And
That's right.
whereas when you work with somebody else that maybe you don't really, you haven't built that trust, you're like, you're going to say, well, what about this and what about this and what about that? Because you feel like you have to do the vetting because you don't trust yet that they are capable of the vetting, capable of the decision, or have your back on it. And whoa, what a light
That's
bulb
right.
moment right there, Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the thing is too is that you can earn that trust quickly. It's either you don't earn it at all because you're just not confident in what you do and you're flailing with your process or how you state your fees, sort of thing, or you get on track quickly, by learning certain steps and skills to building that foundation, and then your client is more eager to believe in you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I use Nicole as well, so I mean, I totally know, love her, couldn't do anything without her, right? And it's the same, I would give the analogy of like with my car guy, what's this, a mechanic, with my mechanic, right?
Right.
I don't question him. I mean, I just need him to fix my car. I don't care where he gets the parts. I don't care. It's not to say I don't care what he charges me, but I trust him
Right.
to be fair. I've been with him for like 15 years, and my parents were with him before that, and they're still with him. And so trust is a huge, huge part of having this relationship with clients. But it doesn't come easily, and it doesn't just come from hanging up the phone and going, yeah, see you next Tuesday, and then that's it, and you show up.
Right.
Right? It
Right.
does, you do have to build in the layers there, right?
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
can't help but laugh at what you just said. See you.
right? It's
Okay.
because it's crazy.
There's something else that you said in there that I want to pull out of there. You said
Yeah,
when you were mentioning that client, and she said to you, if this is your new guy, then we trust you. That's
yeah,
huge right there,
that's
too,
right.
because if you did a construction
Yeah,
project for them before with a different GC and they liked him, and now as a
they
designer,
did.
you're coming back and you're like, I have a different one, you could see somebody saying, well, okay, Claire, but let's go use Bob. But when you say, I've got a new one, and their answer is, hey, whatever you say, that is trust.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I don't push that either, LuAnn, right? Like I say, listen, I'm working with someone new, been working with them for about, 8 years, or well, not 8 years, I guess it's probably about 5 or 6. And but I'm happy if you want to use the other contractor, we still talk to, sort of thing. And they were like, no, no, this is your new guy. And so yeah, you're right. Like it's huge. And so they're putting it all on me. They trust me, and whoever I bring in and whatever I suggest is going to be perfectly what they need, what they want,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
that's a really nice thing. So really, really lovely clients. And we sent the invoice yesterday for 50% deposit on the project already. My sister, she's my office manager, and she says, "Whoa, like literally within 15 minutes, oh, Joel's paid," and I'm like, "Awesome."
Mm.
Right? Like
Yes.
there's no chasing payments, or so it's really nice. So the quicker that you can build that trust, the more easily clients will pass over the reins to you, and they won't micromanage you, and you'll just see a shift. Of course there's more, obviously pricing and a lot of other things come into effect, but that is definitely one of the number one things, because if they don't trust you, if your trades don't trust you, it's like anything. If your partner doesn't trust you in your relationship, right? If your kids don't trust you, you don't trust your kids. I mean, it all can blow up, right?
Right, right. 100%. And that is a lot of what you teach is having the defined processes. And to your point, when by the time you show up for your first on-site consult, they've had 10 touch points, approximately 10 touch points with you.
Yeah.
And that is that automation, and that is all those different things that I've watched you teach designers over the years about the importance of that, because that is it's all that back end. It can say say, oh, here's Claire saying I got to get people to trust me, but you actually go through, and we'll get into it with the Interior Design Boss Academy, some of the ways that you do that. But that's the thing right there. And
Yeah,
then
that's
you
right.
talk about experience too. So weave that in so that I can put this all together for everybody.
Yeah, for sure, LuAnn. So now when I'm talking about experience, I'm not talking about your experience as a designer. Obviously that comes into play, of course, and the more experience that you have, the better you get with every project that you do. But I'm talking about providing an experience. And again, for the client, for your vendors, for your trades that you work with, right? Like, stop worrying about being transparent, please, everybody, with pricing
Mm,
and your discounts, right? The perspective is killing our industry and limiting your profitability, right? I have over 120 reviews, and most relate to the experience, the final look, the quality of items that we brought in that the client could never put together on their own in the space, the respectful tradespeople that we have, how we minimize stress by having everything organized and we manage various aspects of the project. No one's reviewing me going, it was really great that I got 30% off the sofa. No one cares at that point. Like, they're right, like, that's not the focus. And when you make it the focus, and when you and I have coached just LuAnn, I have coach designers who have said to me, in their welcome packet sort of thing, or in their first email, they start talking about the discounts. They start talking about, oh, I can get you great pricing on this, so you'll never pay full retail price. And I'm like,
mm,
who are you attracting there right now? You're attracting the
right,
people who are counting the dollars, which, again, we're all counting dollars. Like, we all have to watch where we spend our money. But again, it's not the focus. We don't hire people in our business because they're the cheapest. I want to hire the best, right?
right.
And so the analogy that I give with that is a story about, like, my hairdresser and my kids that I'll tell you quickly here. Is that one day, you go into one of those, the generic hairdressers, right? Like a Supercut, something like that. And that's where I was
Right.
taking my kids. And, you go in and the lady says, okay, put your name down. How old are they? Okay, what do they want? Blah, blah. Okay. Then you sit and you wait. And so we're sitting there and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, there's no conversations happening here. There's no experience here for me. Like, my kids are just going to go to this person who doesn't know them, who doesn't care about them, who may never see them again. And I'm letting them touch their hair. And again, when you're a certain age, yeah, okay, the kids are, I get it, right? We don't, may not be taking them to a fancy salon, but that one day, LuAnn, I just got up and I said, you know what, I just need to cancel the appointment. I said, sorry, I forgot about something that I had to do. The kids go, what are you doing? I said, you're not going here anymore. And I took them to Gino, and he's been my hairdresser for 15 years. Because why? With Gino, you go in and it's him and his team. It's the same people there all the time. You're having conversations. They care. And he has
Mm,
a candy bowl that my kids love that's on the table all the time. Like, it's just this experience. They massage your hair for 5 minutes while it's being conditioned. So maybe I'm paying a little bit more, but now every time my kids go in, right? Hey, Adley, you're going to university. You know what university you're going to? Oh, Elise, we saw your mom post on Facebook. Your performance the other day. Like, wow, that was amazing. Like, we have relationships with these people now,
mm,
and that's what it's all about. So it's the experience. And I think, again, I don't know whether it's, you could tell me, LuAnn, like, if whether it's you get to a certain age, or you just sort of come to a realization that, what, I want an experience. If I'm going to go out and spend money on dinner, like, why would you go to a fancy restaurant and spend $400 on dinner? You're
right.
going partially because of a big reason is because of the people who are there, the ambiance, the food, the way they treat you, right? You're not going because it's the, Wednesday night special necessarily, right? And if you are, again,
Right.
that's okay. But I'm saying, it's the experience that we give people. And so many forget about the experience that they're bringing to a project, to a client, and then the relationships you build. Like, these people are having you in their home, right? I mean, there's nothing more personal than that, right?
Right. Right. Well, I mean, you know me. I'm the queen of using the restaurant analogy, right? Because it's
Right,
to your exact point. Why are you going to an upscale restaurant? Because you're not going to tell me that $65 for an entree is a great price, right? Like,
right,
that's
right,
if you're going to get a $65 piece of meat or a $65 piece of fish, you can get that at the grocery store, probably very similar quality, for 12 or $13. right?
Yep.
But here's the
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
You want the lighting, you want the tablecloth, you want the
Mhm.
concierge, you want the waiter, you want the candlelight, you
Yes.
want someone else to prepare it. And guess why you want someone else to prepare it? Because it's going to taste better when they do it. Just like when a
That's
designer
right.
designs your home, it's going to look better when they do it, right?
Exactly.
It's the thing. And the thing is, what I always say is when I'm doing conversations with people is out the gate, interior design is luxury. I don't care what level.
Yes.
If
Yes.
if I am your garden variety middle, America or middle UK person, right? I have to remember international
Yeah.
audience here.
That's right.
Middle Canada, you're from Canada, right?
Yep.
Middle
Yep.
it seems so funny. We say middle American all the time. Middle Canada person, whatever. But like if
Right.
you're just your regular garden variety person, and I want someone to do something what most luxury designers would consider an entry level service, like select my paint colors for me. That is still a luxury, even though that might only
Yeah.
be a $250 service or a $350 service. If I'm paying somebody to do it, it's a luxury. And so we
That's right.
as designers and people in the industry, we can't forget that whether you're selling somebody something $250 or you're selling them a $50,000 design fee, that they're
Yeah.
coming to you for the experience of it. Right?
That's right.
You're not spending 250 to walk into a paint store and have the salesperson look at you and go, that one, and that one. Like
That's
they
right.
might be
That's
the
right.
right paint colors, but that's not what you're paying for. You're paying for the
That's right.
experience of coming into my home and looking at my light and looking at my sofas and looking at my rugs and then picking the same three colors that you knew an hour ago were the right ones. But I want the
Right.
experience.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. And
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
and so that also comes in like that with the trust. I really feel comes into like what we talk about in the Interior Design Boss Academy in the first module, which is like perspective and persona. Reset your mindset, right? Realize that like this is an experience that you're offering to people.
Mm,
Realize that you're creating you're creating not only an experience, but you're also making decisions on someone's biggest investment. Like this is their house. Like how many people have a bigger investment than their home, right? Unless
right.
you're a multimillionaire and you got yachts and whatever, right? But mainly
Yeah,
your
my
home, and
yacht
then
was more than
then
my
you still
house,
got a big
Claire.
house, right? That's right. So so we're going in and we're making these decisions, and you know they're not like decisions that we're making, like any one of your listeners is making. Like these are serious decisions. You're saving your clients time, you're saving them money, you're helping them avoid make costly mistakes. And so overcoming imposter syndrome is a really big part of module 1, to really understand that this is a real business that you're building here, and that you
Mm-hmm.
want to you know continue to create, and you want to scale possibly. And so you've got to overcome that imposter syndrome and worry about people's judgment, or just the way that people might perceive you, like and stand your ground as a boss, because that's what we are. We got to be
Mm-hmm.
bosses here, like we are, and a respected boss. I'm not talking boss babe. That's not what I'm talking about here. This is a respected boss. That's what I want for people.
I love that. I love that. And so this interior design Boss Academy is 6 weekly modules, and that you just described module 1. And then we go into module 2, which is service and pricing. And there you're talking about having like profound clarity. Like we let your I love that way you make the twist on your name like that.
Clarity. Yeah,
Clarity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Right? Because that when you do have
Yeah.
absolute clarity, you are going to make more money. That's really what it comes down to, because you are you it was so funny. I had a conversation recently where we talked about, you turn over the pair of shoes. It has a price. You turn it back. It's either for you or it's not, right? That's the
Hmm.
same thing. Your services have a price. What are they? Have the clarity
Yeah.
yourself. When you don't go into Nordstrom's and you're like, say to the shoe salesperson, how much are these shoes? Well, I don't know. It depends if I have to bring you 3 to try on or 1 to try on. It depends if you buy in 10 minutes or an
Right.
hour. It's like, no, this is the price.
Yeah. That's right. The price is the price. There's no negotiating either way. And it's funny because LuAnn, still like a lot of designers who who I've coached, been in the year, like this course, I say it's for 0 to 5 year designers. If you're new, if you're a student, or you're just coming into this, or you dipped your toe, then this is for you to lay the framework and the proper foundation so you can feel confident and you can move forward and charge the fees, get better clients, bigger projects, right? But I'm always a little bit shocked with, sometimes when in talking to some designers, and after, like, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years in the business, and they're still unsure on what their services are. They're not really clear on how they should put something together, and if you can't articulate what it is that you're providing, and give the service some sort of a name, and then be able to put a price to it, you can't sell it. How can you sell that?
Right.
Right. And
100%.
so I sort of say, like, state your fees with ease. That's part of this
Hmm.
module too, is, being able to, define your deliverables. And so we really go into depth in that, on different services that you can offer, and how you can, put them together and present them to your clients, and then really determining which is the best, because not everyone is going to take my custom design $8,000 per room package, right? I mean, some
Mm-hmm.
clients want my designer for a day, or they want a consult only. And so it's also really understanding, which I think we get into in module 4 as well, with the consultations that convert and earning clients trust and respect. But um, we get into more of, like, what is the act? What do we need to suss out here in the vetting process? How do we vet these people to make sure that we are getting the right client for the right service, and that the client's right for us? It's okay to say no. I mean, it's even better to say no. We've all learned, I'm sure, at some point when you've taken on a client, thought, oh God, I felt this
Mm.
from the start, but I didn't trust my gut, right?
Right. You
And
ignored your
so
gut. You ignored your goddess
that's right.
voice.
That's
Right.
right. The goddess,
Yeah.
the goddess.
That's it.
So yeah,
That's
so you
it. No,
got to know what you. Yeah.
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, no. I just think it's I love the idea of the way the modules build on each other, right? So we have the perspective and
Yes.
persona, then the service and pricing, suppliers and trade, right? Building your professional partnerships, is critical in understanding how you're going to go about to get a project done, and who are
Yeah.
the people you're going to call on, because I know that we both have had situations where we've met designers and they don't have their team built out and they haven't thought about it.
Yep.
And so now all of a sudden they're in the middle of a project and they need a plumber or they need a window treatment person and they don't
Oh my
have it.
gosh. Yeah.
That's not good,
Yeah.
right? We need to know who
No.
our players are before we go start marketing ourselves, right?
That's right, because they will totally reflect on your business. If they do a lousy job, or they're bad at communicating, then it's all going to reflect on you, because you referred this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you do got to, this is a business. Like, we got to do some work up front. This isn't like we just, turn on our computer and put our phone on, and the phone rings. Like, we got to be set up properly, it to be taken as a serious design boss, right? That's the thing, again, going back to the respected
Mm-hmm.
design boss. And when you build these professional partnerships, which I like to call them, because that's what you're building, these partnerships. You need to, there's a lot involved in that, right? Like, who's getting paid? Is the client paying them directly? Who's buying what? Or what is your role in this? Like, you have to have these conversations ahead of time, so you're not, you know butting heads in front of the client. And one of the things that I do in the academy is that every week, like, with the module, when it's released every at the beginning of the week, I'm telling a true story. Like, part of it is, like, what is
Mm.
the problem, what's the struggle, why do we need to address it, and then I tell you a story of what stuff's happened to me, this crappy situation, this happened to me, this is how I got myself in hot water, how did I overcome it, and now I know that I can't do that anymore. And so, we've all made mistakes. That's how we learn. But my goal with the Boss Academy is to really, um, make sure people can get there quicker. They're not stumbling. They're not, so this is all about laying the foundation. We're not talking about marketing. We're not talking about getting reviews. This is, 6 weeks of laying that foundation. And trades are a huge part of it, and your vendors. So we also
Right.
talk about vendors, how to create those partnerships as well.
Yeah, I love it. I love that, it is the foundation. And it's funny, speaking about it being the foundation and how, you're sort of identified that if you're in business 0 to 5 years. But with no judgment whatsoever intended, it's compassion and empathy all day long. I know that there are designers in business 10, 15, and 20 years that do not have all 6 of these areas locked down. I mean, I wouldn't have a
Hmm.
podcast if that weren't the case because, I'm not
Right.
just, I don't have, 6 million downloads because, everybody's in business 0 to 5 years, right? It is
Yeah. Right.
literally, you can be, because what happens, we open our doors and we start doing work, and the next thing we know, one person tells another person, tells another person, and next thing you know, we're busy. And that's
Yep.
exactly what happens. And we're like saying to ourselves, oh my goodness, I actually never really stopped and quantified what
Hmm.
packages and services and a ladder of services that I will do and what they cost. And I do it on the fly every time. Or I've never
That's right.
really, your module 5 is order of operations after the consult, that your exact step by step process for starting projects. I have worked personally with designers that are in business 15 and 20 years, and it's every way on the highway every single time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I
Yeah.
said, it's not
Yeah.
judgment, because it's we
It's
have good
hard, right?
intentions, but it's hard to stop
That's
a
right.
moving bullet train. It really just is.
That's
And
right.
that's why coming along with the Interior Design Boss Academy is really just so valuable, because in 6 weeks time you get all of these modules, you get the opportunity to have the questions with Claire, and you're going to work through all this, and maybe you've got one or two of these down pat, but I don't know that I could even say that WindowWorks in 40 years has got all six like on autopilot, right? It's
Right.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to be in
That's right.
business.
That's right. And oh, exactly. And when you said like, about it becomes you become busier, right? You become busy once you sort of start, like a lot of people. I know some people, it's a bit more of a struggle to find clients and that. But here's the problem, Luann, is that for a lot of those people who build fast, they're not charging enough. And then they
No.
can never go, it's hard for them to go back and, take time out. But then they're taking, I had a woman once I coached, and she told me she had like 30 clients on the go and she was charging them $50 an hour. And I said, well, that's why you
Whoa.
have so many clients on the go and why you're going crazy and why they expect so
Right.
much from you. Like, you need
Yeah,
to
you
take a
need
step
10
back.
clients at 350 an hour and stop with that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right. But when
Yeah.
you say like the train is going out of control and it's client after client, it's really hard to sort of take that time out. But if you don't, you burn out, you become resentful, and you're not
Mhm.
enjoying it. And let's face it, we didn't
Mm.
quit our day job to like go into a 9 till 9 job, because this isn't 9 to 5 and it isn't passive income by any means, right? I mean, we didn't do it to just to kill ourselves,
That is
right?
what's
And
so
so,
funny, right? I'm going to work
right?
for myself
And
from dawn to dusk.
and then that's right. Which, as business owners, and when you love what you do, that's awesome. But, you do have to take some time for yourself and be able to sort of have that downtime. And, so that's sort of, you don't want to be taking on any and every client. You want to take on clients. We have clients that we charge $800 for a 2-hour consultation. We get an inquiry like every week. Like just yesterday, my sister replied to one. My sister, by the way, is my office manager, if I didn't already say, so I should probably refer to her as a Karen or my office manager. But and so she replied to this email inquiry that we got yesterday, and it's a standard email. It's not on automation. We do like to plug in the person's name, and we like to address, personalize it with whatever the name of their project was. So like, your basement project sounds exciting. And then we say, our fee for a consultation is $800 for 2 hours. We take payment ahead of the consult. We're currently booking 3 to 4 weeks out. And if we're taking on new projects, we'll have a consult, but just so you know, like my contractor can't come to you until April of 2023. So we can work, put together a design and work on with you until, and lead up to that. But, and then the line is, if you're agreeable to, if this sounds all agreeable to you, here's a link to book in our Calendly, and you can book a 15-minute call with Claire. And you know what? We don't book everyone, because some people are like, well, shoot, like that's a lot of money. I don't want to spend $800. I want to spend 250, right? Well, then I'm not for
I want a
you,
free one.
and then you've got, I want a free one. Why aren't you free? Yeah. And then you've got like the timelines, right? Someone's probably like, some people are like, oh my God, my contractor's here and he needs paint colors in 2 days. Well, okay, well, that's not going to work for me. So it eliminates that. It lets you know right up front, here's my fee, here's the timelines. And now we're managing expectations, which, is a chapter in the book that I wrote for in your book, the first book. And so yeah, so you're really looking at managing those expectations up front and letting people know, like, these are our processes, this is how we work. And it eliminates the people that are looking for cheap and cheerful and quick and dirty sort of thing, right? Like that's not what you get with my firm. We can have fun still, LuAnn. You know me, I'm still going to have fun. It's going to be a great experience, but it's not. I'm not the cheapest, right? And so by doing that, the discerning clients that we get now, that we just get the best clients who trust us. We
Mm.
don't get pushback, and so all of, but that doesn't just play into your fee. You have to be able to back that up,
Yes,
and
right.
I
You
know for
can't
newer
just do all
people,
of this and then not know how to do. That's
yeah,
why I love the not module 5 after the consult, the exact step by step process for getting projects off the ground, because yeah, we can do all of that, but we have to be able to actually execute it, right?
exactly. Yeah, there's no fake it till you make it here. I told you earlier, I'm not a fan of fake it till you make it because that
Hmm.
it's only so long until people will see those cracks in the foundation and things will start to crumble after a year or two. If you keep flying by the seat of your pants, you got to
Hmm.
have your stuff together.
Yeah, and Module 6 rounds it out with project fulfillment experience, organization and scheduling, implementing the designs with ease and confidence. I mean, the outstanding modules. Of course, we're going to have a link in the show notes to this, but let's just run down, Claire, everything that's included if someone decides to become a member of the Interior Design Boss Academy.
Sure. Yep, for sure. So the doors open, and the doors, just so you know, are only going to be opening a few times a year. So this isn't something that runs ongoing that you could purchase, every single month, sort of thing. So we're purposely doing it like that because we want it to be nice and intimate setting, and we want to be very thoughtful about me being able to give time to everybody. So we
Mm,
do 6 weeks of business building content with videos and PDFs. So you get me. It's recorded videos about with this specific module. Let's say for perspective and persona, reset your mindset, overcoming imposter syndrome, and being a boss. That's the first one as an example. And so then with that, we have a Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group, and we've got structured timing, so you can easily schedule your approach to this. This also isn't something, LuAnn, where someone's coming in and they've got to download 20 PDFs and they've got to watch 18 videos, and they're because who has
we're not
time
going to
for
do
that,
it. We're
right?
going to
We've
buy it. We're not going
purposely
to do it.
That's right. That's right. So we've had structured timing so you can easily schedule your approach to this. And then we do weekly 60-minute live Q&A coaching sessions with me to ask me any business questions pertaining to that module. And you're also going to interact. It's like a Zoom webinar feel. So you're also being able to interact with other Boss Academy members. And that is
Mm,
really my goal for this too. I want people to like have this really good sense of community because the groups at 6,000, like my group at 6,000, it's a lot of people. It's intimidating, especially for newer people or if you're not sure about something. And, you may not want to ask certain questions, but here there's no stupid questions. We are open. I'm here for you. And then we do a real designer dilemma scenario every week. I sort of post this in the group, and people can just say like, "Hey, how would you handle this?" You can answer it, or they can choose not to handle it, answer it, and just read what people are saying. But it's going to be pertaining to the module, and it is a real designer dilemma based on what I've seen in my group over the last 6 years, right? So
right.
it makes it interactive in that way. But again, you don't have to feel like you have to do that, because I don't want people to feel like they have a lot to do. But it's very quite interesting actually. And then we have weekly action items. So once you get the module, then we have an action item. So whether it's to create, a proposal, because I've shared my, proposal with you in the template, and I've gone through why it's important to do that. And, I think that comes in module 4 with the consultations that convert. And then if you want, say that we'll encourage people if they want to share that, so we can sort of look at everybody's and go, oh wow, that was a great idea, or I love what you did with that. And again, creating that community. And then for some people, I know that they're going to be maybe already at a certain level, so we have a level up. Like, okay, you did this action item already, I'm sure you could still improve your proposal in some way or another, or it may need
Mm,
some tweaking, but here's a level up action item, right?
nice.
And so that's, yeah, so that's really good. And yeah, like I said, we've got lots of resources and discovery call scripts, process checklists, email templates, proposals, but not thrown all at you at once. Not thrown. This isn't like you go in. This is a you. I want you, these designers, these bosses, future bosses, to show up with me every week. I want, so this isn't like you go and buy it, you download it, and then you never look at it, or you work at it at your own pace as such. This is like, are you ready to take action? Because if you're ready to take action now, I'm here for you. I'm going to support you. The other members are going to support you. And we're going to go through this week by week and get it done, like not sit on it for
Mm,
2 years
yeah,
and think we're going to do it. Or, this is take action now.
I love it.
So yeah, Thank you. And then we have it feeds into afterwards a membership group, which is the Interior Design Boss Academy Elite.
Mm.
And so that is a monthly membership afterwards where you get continued support because we know again from looking at the groups and from coaching, you don't just do something and you meet with someone and then you're perfect. It's
Right.
perfection and you're done
Magic.
and you have
I
no more
I absorbed
questions.
all the lessons. It's like
That's
now
right.
3 months
Right.
later,
There's
I tried what you said and I fell flat on my face. What should I do now? Right?
That's right. That's right. And so we're there to further support that in the membership group afterwards. And so, if you don't mind, like while we're talking about like groups and stuff, like, you said this, you talked about it as we were speaking at your presentation, I believe it was in Clearwater this year. And someone asked you about like, in the groups, what do you think about asking peers for business advice and sort of crowdsourcing this? And, it's just, I know your feeling on this. Like there's certain questions, yes, your peers can help you
Yes.
with it. They can say, "Oh, I tried this and that didn't work." But for a lot of stuff, crowdsourcing is not a solid business, is not going to get you solid business advice, right? You don't know who the designer is who's making suggestions necessarily. Are they running an organized business? And it's sort of like think about the moms group, right? The Facebook moms group, that sort of analogy. Like when you
Mm.
see someone in a Facebook moms group go, "Hey, can you tell me what paint color I should choose or how I should design my kitchen?" And you're thinking,
Right.
"What? Why don't you just
Right.
hire a professional?"
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
it's the same sort of idea, right? And that's what I just want people to sort of flip the switch on, remembering this is a business. You do have to make some investments in your business, right?
Mhm.
And you do have to take some risks, and we're always learning, right? Right? I have a coach, I'm hired a brand strategist. We're always learning, LuAnn,
Right.
you know that.
No, 100%. I mean, the list of coaches in my life is beyond. No, I mean, and it's true. And the thing is, Claire, I really want everybody to go to the landing page, right? So it's interiordesignbossacademy.com, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really,
interior design. Yeah.
yeah, interiordesignbossacademy.com. I really encourage you to look at this because I'm looking at it and the comprehensive body of work that you've put here together, Claire, is incredible. And I'm not saying that lightly, and I'm not saying that just to say it. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the flow of the modules, I'm looking at the topics of the modules. I'm looking at all of the support that you're giving throughout the weeks, and then, of course, the after support of the Boss Academy. And I'm literally thinking to myself, holy cannoli. Like, how did you even? I mean, just to think about taking the body of work and body of experience that you have and putting it into one place like this is pretty remarkable, Claire. And I'm like in a little bit of awe of you, lady, that you have. I'm not at all surprised, but I am in awe, and it's incredible.
Oh, oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a labor of love. And like I said, I purposely created it so we weren't sort of jumping ahead with just the foundation is so key. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
after doing this for so many years and seeing so many posts and coaching many designers and living through it myself, LuAnn, right? I mean,
Yes.
as I said, I'm still in the trenches. Like these are things that if you do not lock them down, if you do not figure these out and have these six at minimal these six modules like what I'm teaching here, you're just not going to have as a happy of a business life. You're not going to be able to land the better clients and charge what you can charge, and just really enjoy what we do. And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
want to do. I want to eliminate these posts in the group where people are telling them, saying that their client is pushing back or their client is asking to see invoices or their clients are asking to shop at Pottery Barn and do I get a discount at Pottery Barn.
Mm.
Like if of course there's business models that maybe support that, and I'm not dissing that, but I'm saying for most of us we do want to be able to give our clients something different, and we want to be respected as a boss, and we want the clients to trust us because those are the best clients. The
Mm-hmm.
best clients, the ones who trust you, right.
Yes.
So
Yeah. No, it's the
that that's
truth.
that's my goal.
No, I mean, and
Yeah.
I guess really, like my last and final thing on it is I guess what just having had 6.5 years of conversations with interior designers, and all of the places and the times that I've had the great pleasure of meeting and talking with designers in person in real life, and knowing what the struggles are. You are really doing exactly what you're attempting to do. You are helping someone just finally, once and for all, get the foundation set. Just get the foundation set. You said it to me off air. If you have a house where the foundation is not firm, the house isn't going to stand. It's not going to go through the test of time. And it's the same with our businesses. If our foundation is not set, we can go along. The house can go along, but at some point it's going to crumble. You're either going to crumble because you're emotionally spent, you're exhausted, or you're going to crumble because you actually were never profitable and now you're out of business. But this is the foundation, and it's so crazy knowing what goes into the foundation of a business. I don't want anybody to look at these 6 modules and not recognize the depth that's been put into them. That's what I'm looking. I'm like, holy cannoli, this is a lot. This is great. My hats off to you, Claire. Honestly, I 100% believe in you and know firsthand how smart you are with this, and how you really do have this goal and intention that any designer that wants to get their business set on straight and wants to be able to go down the road with the trust of their clients and be able to earn the prices that they're worth, you're the lady. I love it. Thank you so much, Claire, for sharing all this with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show, and thank you to all your listeners. And just thanks for everything that you do, LuAnn. I always look forward to when we get to meet in person again. And I owe your energy. I feed off your energy. I think we probably feed off each other's actually.
I feed off the energy of a light
so
socket,
thank
Claire.
you.
Like, you know that.
Right?
Just plug me in. Let's go. You're the same way, though.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness. Are
I
you
love you,
going to
lady.
High
All
Point
right.
in the fall in another month or so?
I am. Yep.
Oh,
I will
good.
see you there.
Good, good,
I've already
good.
got my house booked and everything. And yep.
Good.
We're ready to go. My sister's coming with me, and we're driving down actually, so
Oh,
that'll be
my
it's a
goodness.
beautiful drive. It's about 12 hours, but it's a beautiful drive. So
Oh, that's
I'll be
nice.
there.
Okay, well, I will see
Yeah.
you then. And thank you so much for sharing the Interior Design Boss Academy with us.
All right. Thanks, LuAnn. All the best. See you.
I have talked often about the importance of relationships in business on the podcast, and I can tell you without a doubt that Window Works would not be anywhere near where it is today if we did not make the same commitment to the 2 things that Claire talked about today: trust and experience. So let's pick apart a few of the points that she made. The first is this idea of building trust before you ever walk in the door. She said that in her business, she has had up to 10 touch points with her clients before she shows up for that first consult. This is so smart and so important. When you have the trust of your clients, every single step from the consult on goes more smoothly. They aren't likely to question your prices. They aren't wondering if you're stringing them along when a delay happens. They aren't calling you every day to get an update. And they aren't stepping on your toes because you're the professional, and they get that and they trust it and they want you to guide the process, right? The story that Claire told about having a client from years before come back, that struck me. She told them about a new contractor she was working with, and they said, yes, we trust you. Let's go with your guy. You can see how that could have been sticky. Somebody could say, oh, we like the other guy. But the thing is, what Claire is showing here is they like and trust her more, right? When you can leverage that type of trust, it changes the dynamics of the relationship with your client. And this is a much better place to be in business. You don't want clients questioning every decision, pushing back, or wondering if you're doing the right thing. Your clients are coming to you for a premium experience. They're coming to you because they don't know what the paint color looks good with and what the finishings or the style of sofa will tie the rug with the paint and the fabric and the drapes and all the things. They want you to be the pro, to take charge and to guide the process. And here's the great part, they're willing to pay for the experience, right? But here's the other side of it. Clients don't want an experience where they are feeling that they need to micromanage or do heavy lifting. I've said many times on the podcast, if you are having repeated bad customer experiences, it's time to take a look at you and what you're doing or not doing that attracts this negative experience, right? I guarantee you that 95% of those difficult clients don't want to be difficult. Does the 5% exist? Yes, yes, yes. We've all interacted with them, right? I get that. But most of the clients are put in a position where they feel difficult to you because the reality is they don't feel like they actually trust you because you have not created this terrific, seamless experience built on clarity and systems, right? And setting upfront expectations. If you don't tell your clients that you're going to have X number of meetings at this time, then of course they're going to call you for updates. If you don't tell your clients that there was a delay, of course they're going to question why you're not on schedule. Upfront, clear expectations, seamless systems and processes, automation. These are the things that allow you to build the experience the luxury client wants, right? And when you are bringing that to the table and you are confident in that, charging what you're worth, well, now that's easy. You know you're worth it. Your client knows you're worth it. There's trust. There's an experience. There's exceptional value. That's when you're able to attract those dream clients and rattle off your prices with confidence and truly run a well-designed business. This doesn't happen by accident. It can take years of trial and error and streamlining and figuring out your own systems and processes. Or you can skip the years with Claire's program. Put in a few solid, dedicated hours a week to doing the work and get what you need to lay the foundation for your business, or possibly to course correct if you've been doing it wrong for years or decades. All right, I cannot overstate the value of what Claire has put together here. These valuable pillars for successful businesses. I mean, creating those trust-building touch points to building professional partnerships. This is the goal for you and your business, not just to survive from dawn to dusk. If you're doing that, you're not alone. There are countless others in the same boat, many with plenty of experience. You get busy, you tread water, and you don't want to take your foot off the gas to build the systems and processes. But it's unsustainable. And eventually it will catch up with you or burn you out, right? So the goal is to get systemized so you can be productive. The goal is to build this strong foundation so you can create trust and create an experience and create a relationship with your clients so that your work and your experience and reputation speak for themselves. So that you have the confidence to charge what you're worth, to say no to the wrong fit, and offer the services and projects that make you happy. The Interior Design Boss Academy will help you do that. I want you to go to the landing page, interiordesignbossacademy.com, and look over what Claire is offering here. I love that she's honed in on these foundational pieces, the pieces that impact everything else down the line in our business. I've been in business a long time, and I can tell you that these are the pieces that get overlooked, but that matter the most in your business, okay? So go look at what Claire has to offer. Jump in while you have the chance to join. This isn't something that you can put off because, she's going to open it for a certain window of time, and then she's going to close it up, and then you're going to have to wait. So if you're ready to build the foundation, now is the time. Head to interiordesignbossacademy.com to get started. Thank you tons, Claire, for being here with me, for being my friend, for, coming up with this Boss Academy. It's just incredible. And thank you for showing up. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Nigara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNigara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to WindowWorksNJ.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.